Well, greeting everyone. This is Al-fadi. Welcome back to our video show on Muhammad, a critique. Last time we gave an introduction concerning the extant manuscripts of the so-called Sahaba, or the companion of Muhammad and Tabi'un, their followers. And today we are going to begin a deep dive into what we meant by that. And with that, I'm going to turn the mic over here to our dear brother, Jay Smith, who's with us here in studio to unpack all of that for us. Welcome back, Jay.
Yeah, thanks. We are at that point now where we want to go and put things on a timeline. This is what Muslims don't like, because by putting it on time, you see exactly year by year by year how huge a gap we have. But the claim has always been by Muslims that they have eyewitness accounts, and that's the criteria we're looking for, eyewitness accounts of what actually happens. Like when there's an accident, the police put the sign out there and they say, on this date, at this time, if you were here, call this number. They want the people who actually witness the accidents to call the police. In the same token, we demand the same of any historical claim. And there are many historical claims. Islam makes them, we make them, every religion makes them, every country and culture makes historical claims, and therefore you need to be able to support those claims. And that's all we're asking of Islam. We've already had to do that. The same thing has been hammered on us since the 1800s in Germany with a school in Tübingen, the university, and of course people like Wellhausen and others. So we're just demanding the same thing that has been demanded of us. Where are the dates of these manuscripts? Show us the names of these people and look at the manuscripts. Now, there have been 5 manuscripts that have been really offered and forwarded. One is the Muwatta of Ibn Malik. The other one is the Sahifa of Hammam bin Munabi. The other one is a Musnad of Ibn Hanbal. Actually, we're talking about 6. And then you have the Musnad of Abdul Razak, the Musnad of Al-Tailisi, and also Abi Shayba. I know I'm desecrating your language, forgive me.
Maybe we can show it to the people.
Well,
also.
I don't want to put that up there yet because those are the dates we're looking at. So I'm going to be looking at those because those are the ones that Farid introduced.
Okay.
Right? He introduced those dates. And so since he said that these are the Sahaba, these are the ones that were right there. They saw what Muhammad did. So they would be, therefore, people who are right next to Muhammad, right? The companions of the Prophet. No, they weren't. Let's go and put their dates up now. So you ready? You write, as I put them up there, you give their names. Let's go to the slide. Here's the claim that these are the Sahaba, the Tabiun, these are the companions. So therefore, they should be 7th century. I put 8th century up there on the slide just to give them a little leeway. Those are not the dates. So what's the first guy's name? That's the what?
That Muwatta ibn Malik.
And notice what's the date we have for him?
At least 200 years later. Which
9th century, not 7th century. Okay, I'm actually going to change that. But hold on. What's the next one?
Oh, this one is Ibn Munabbih.
Okay, it's the Sahifa of Haman ibn Munabbih. What's the date on that one?
Also 12th century. That's
12th century. That's 500 years later. Here's another one.
Musnad ibn Hanbal.
13th century, 600 years later.
And Musannaf Abdul Razak.
13th century again, 600 years later.
And Musnad, this
Tailisi.
guy, Tailisi, yeah. This is 13th century, which is 600 years later.
And then finally,
Abi Shayba.
13th century. Notice these are the 6 that they claim. I'm not claiming these. This is their claim. This is Farid's claim. And he's saying every one of these are the ones who really were there. They were there. They were eyewitness to the event. Conclusion, these documents were supposedly created in the 7th century, yet look at the dates. They do not begin to appear until the 9th to the 13th century. Therefore, they are 200 to 600 years later. What that means is that they are all written by others hundreds of years later. Consequently, they are all redacted attributions.
That's right. And also the other observation anyone can make right now looking at those, how come we don't find any of them in the well-accepted body of resources and traditions?
Explain what you've just said.
For instance, Ibn Hanbal, for instance, or Ibn Malik, and even Munabbih, they will tell you, oh, these guys wrote Hadith also, and they were so close to the action. Fine. I don't find it in a Sunni hadith collection. I don't find it in a Shia hadith collection, which means that whomever decided that these are the acceptable bodies of hadith are more reliable than these ones.
These names are never up there with the traditional 6 hadith collections.
That's right.
The 2 Sirah collections, and Al-Tabari, who comes from the Tafsir al-Tahriq. You don't hear about any other names. You don't hear these names at all. And one of the reasons is they're writing in a totally different genre. Malik and Hanbal are talking about Sharia. These are law. These are fiqh.
And they're founders of Sharia schools.
There you go. They're founders of schools of Sharia. So therefore, they're not in the same class. They're not, and we don't really want them. We don't need them because they don't tell us much about how Islam began. They're not historical. These are laws. These are how you institute laws, depending on what the problem is. So it's a completely different genre. That's why you wouldn't look for them.
Right. And even Ibn Munabbih, when you do a study on that, they'll tell you that there were some questionable things, whether about those who reported what he says or maybe in his own reporting.